In this video, I will show you how to eliminate the beeping sounds, the safety chimes that your car will produce when your seatbelts are not buckled, or perhaps the keys are in the ignition and the door is open like what we have right now. So we all know it's a constant annoying beeping sound. We all want to get rid of it. If you look through these YouTube videos, you'll find there's a bunch of different methods people have come up with. Some are effective, some of are not. I've done this to many vehicles over years, and it always is 100% foolproof. It's not the easiest thing to do. You might not want to take this on if you don't have a little bit of experience disassembling things. Maybe if you put a car stereo in, this will be easy for you. Maybe if you've never really worked on a vehicle at all, this might be a little bit too much for you and you should ask for some help. To remove the beeper, or the sound of the beeper actually, you have to get to the back side of the instrument panel, which sounds crazy, but it's a little different for every single vehicle the way it's constructed. But there's a logical step-by-step process to remove the dash and get to it, remove it. And if you look around on every car, you'll see there's screw holes, there's little tricks they have of hiding how it's all fastened together. So you have to poke around and figure out which part can come off first, and usually when you take off one part, then the next part shows a fastener that can be removed, and so on until you can actually get the instrument panel removed. If you've ever worked on a car stereo or some sort of car project, you're probably quite familiar with this, that things kind of just pop together with spring clips. Maybe there's a screw, maybe there's a plastic sex bolt, maybe it's a plastic rivet with a little pin that comes in and out. But it's not hard to find. If you do some poking around, it should only take you a few minutes to start digging in. I'm about 15 minutes in, and I think I'm pretty much done with the hard part, what I consider to be the hard part. I found how to remove all the parts that give me access to the instrument panel. It ended up being 3 parts. You have this one, which it was just a snap-in part. It's just a decorative, it's an aesthetic fascia panel. It's kind of a meaningless part, other than to make your truck look nice. And then there's an adjoining one for the other side. It's just the same thing. And the surround for the instrument panel, which was really easy also. Some snap-in clips. You just tug on this thing and it basically pops out. Before you do that, there was 2 plastic rivets, and that's it. Now you have access. And what you have is 4 bolts. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's, for every one of these I've done, it's usually the same scenario. You take away some plastic, and then your instrument panel has a few bolts you remove, and you can get on to removing the beeper. Here's a little fun fact tech tip. If you put a magnet on your screwdriver or ratchet extension, socket extension, when you remove the screws and the screw becomes disconnected, it attaches itself to the screwdriver or ratchet extension, and it doesn't fall into the dash and doesn't get lost. It comes right out with the screwdriver. It's a nice tip. So here it is. This is your goal, to get to this part. We've got it. It took me 20 minutes, 25 minutes tops. Once you get the screws out, there's one more thing to do. The wire harness, the information is clipped in here. It's just a typical wire harness with a clip. This is it here. Nothing special. You just press the little clip and it comes right out. Okay, so here's your instrument panel. We have it on the work table. Here's your beeper right behind this vent. That's what you want to get to. And for this, we have two little clips. One, two. That's your beeper right there. So then what we want to do is carefully gain access to the inside, and there'll be a little silver plate which vibrates and creates all the trouble. So we're gonna pick this apart real carefully, get to that plate. So I've removed the top of the black casing which houses this little devil. Here's some casing. And yeah, this basically gets hit by a little prong and vibrates and makes everybody's life nuts. So once you have this removed, I recommend you burn it or blow it up, dance on it, do something to celebrate what you've accomplished. Or maybe you just discard it in the ultimate act of disrespect. But in any event, it's done. Nothing has been touched with your circuit board. No information has been lost. When you plug the harness back in, everything will be the same. The mileage will be the same, the trip computer, nothing has changed. The only thing that's changed is that the system thinks it's making an annoying noise, and it's not. You've just removed sort of like the speaker. Throw on your cap, put it all back together, and you're done. And here's your finished product. The door is open, keys in the ignition, no noise, yay. Everything looks as it should. It doesn't look like your dash was ripped apart. Everything goes back as it should. It looks like a lot, it looks crazy, but it's actually not. You can do it. If you turn on the key, everything is normal. There's no beeping, which is nice. The seat belt light comes on. The mileage is the same. All the information is there, nothing has been lost. When I put on my seat belt, the seat belt light goes off. None of the safety systems have been disabled. It's just, it's just the noise that it makes. And then every time you get in your vehicle, you can smile because it's something you did. You don't have to put up with it. Every time you get in someone else's vehicle and you hear theirs making that racket, you can smile because you know that yours doesn't. So go for it.